With pressure on local authorities to build more homes, a great deal of frustration amongst people who feel they just don't have a say on changes that can affect the character of the area where they live. For councils, it's a balancing act. They have to build more homes, but they need to keep communities happy too. Well, here in Bures, some of the residents have told me they've had to become experts in planning laws just to understand what's going on and to at least try to have an influence over what's being built on their doorstep.
Claire and James Fruin say they've put their heart and soul into looking after a listed building. They love living in Bures, but in the last few months they felt powerless as new homes have gone up that they say are standing more than 2.5 metres taller than stated on the original plans.
We opened an enforcement case with planning in October to come around and check the heights because we could see when they put the footings in they'd raised the soil level, and we don't know if enforcement came round, but they've carried on building.
James and Claire say the ground floor level to the new homes is at least 1.5 metres higher than it should have been. It makes them dominate their garden. But they also believe the houses themselves are 1 metre taller too.
We know that there is pressure and that housing is needed, but in the right place at the right height. And we need planning to control that on behalf of us, because as an individual we don't have a say.
Bures District Council told us they've been contacted by residents expressing concern about the completed development exceeding the height specified in the original planning permission. In a statement, they said, "Our planning enforcement team investigated and found these fears were well founded and that the development would be higher than the original permission specified."
As a result, a planning application has been submitted to Bures District Council to vary the permitted height of the development, and that application is currently under consideration.
Carol Walters will also be keeping a very close eye on the council's decision. She says the plans showed the new houses would be in line with her property.
When they were being set out, it was clear that they were at least 2 metres protruding this side of our boundary. It seems to be the council and the developer. And we just seem to be a little bit of a nuisance on the peripheral. If this gets refused, the developer can appeal. If it gets approved, we can't appeal.
Their MP, James Cartledge, says this case highlights a flaw in the system.
Although planning is usually about the District Council, that loophole is very much responsibility of Parliament because it relates to legislation. And it's simply that if a developer breaches their original planning application, the law is very much weighted towards the developer in stopping them from progressing.
ITV News Anglia contacted the developer, but we haven't received a comment. A decision by the council could be a few weeks away. But meanwhile, the homes continue to be advertised, with one believed to already be sold subject to contract. Residents here say right now they don't have much confidence in the planning system. Victoria Lampard, ITV News, Bures.